Hello, everybody. I'm Overhaul, and today we are reviewing Fire Force 249. At least I think that's the chapter title. Again, I can't really remember the name, the number of chapter since I know it's in 200 and before or right before 50, but I can't remember it is exactly 249 or 248. The break didn't help at all. So, yeah, the usual disclaimer at the beginning of my videos. I am not a kid specific channel. Although the topics I discuss might look like they're for kids, it's very likely that I will start talking about things that are for more mature audience. So if you're a child, I would advise you not to watch this. As for everyone else, let's get on with this video. So, this chapter, how do I summarize it? I think the best way to really summarize it is that guy who made the video about how Fire Force's ending is gonna be a lot more darker than Soul Eater. You might actually have a good point. You'll get what I mean when we come to the ending of the chapter, really. So, let's begin with at the start. You has just been transformed into Infernal. Design is still pretty kind of vague at the beginning in pages, but we get a better glimpse of it, how he looks at the end, and needless to say that he really kind of is this hybrid of pretty much what the person looked like before they were infernalized, and a bit more zombie-like form. That's that's the form you has. But needless to say, Lisa and Vulcan are scared or freaking out, whichever way you want to take it. Like, they are not clear in their head. Like, you could debatably be seen like their little brother or their son, depending on the way you take the family, which I'm guessing means that he's more like a little, though, like a son. So seeing him infernalized, which so far has not been hinted to be able to be reversed or anything. Like, there might be. I mean, the standard Stormy format would lead you to believe that he will be turned normal, but we don't know how. Like, there was no hint to it or any direct hints to it. So yeah, you could basically be put as deceased right now in the story. So yeah. Now, Giovanni during this shocking moment is just laughing. Like, I'm pretty sure that until Vulcan and Lisa get that finishing in quotation, finishing attack, he pretty much just laughs. He's just the whole moment like ha 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 ha. So yeah. No, in the meantime, this is happening. Vulcan calls, well, as we've seen in the chapter, Vulcan is in contact with Licht. And Licht says, don't worry, we'll figure this out. And Licht is currently thinking. No, Licht came up with a theory. And that theory is, the way that bugs do, if they have two ways that they communicate. One is the electromagnetic way, which has been disproved, which was destroyed, as we see in the last chapter. Also, I'm not a bug expert, so I do not know if these are going to communicate. And Lake's other option is there's this kind of dance that a queen bee or a certain, like, I'm guessing that the insect that's in charge of the rest has that just has them move around. So since the first one is out, it's very likely that it's the second one which would explain things. So Licht surmises that Giovanni is using some kind of bug, some kind of bug experiment, which makes sense. I mean, is very bug-like. Seriously, I so not gonna lie, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the previous chapters, but when we saw Giovanni's in the anime in the second season, his second form, which honestly feels like the most practical one of all of them. I just thought those things they come out from more like robotic, they're more like actual insects. So yeah, Giovanni experiments on bugs. So it makes sense that Giovanni would have this kind of bug inside him. So Lake agrees and he puts up his skull mask, which I don't think he actually used in quite a while. Like, I don't think we've seen that mask since Vulcan's workshop arc. So again, our parallel to Vulcan workshop arc. And then we get so Vulcan puts the mask on him and scans Giovanni's body. Well, looks around Giovanni's body to find bug these bugs that are most likely using them since they will have a different signature. Also, Vulcan surmi- surmises that since a bug would be a pretty ineffective and kind of a risky way to use, me and Giovanni would most likely use a robot, not a real insect. I mean, you know how Giovanni's I hit and hit and hit and hit at the bridge before it crumbles down. Well, that's kind of like a parallel, just a different version of saying I knock and knock and knock at the bridge until it's stable to make sure that you aren't in danger of falling. So Giovanni would not be a type of a character who would just, oh yeah, let me trust my entire goddamn body gimmick to wild insects. Like, it's dangerous. So it makes sense, Vulcan's analysis, and it's true. We do find out that is indeed what the case. They are robotic. So Vulcan is able to find them and paint them. Now, I am in a bit of a questioning on the numbers, and I thought there were going to be 5 of them at the first, but then it seems to be 7. I mean, it's possible that the extra 2 are just the hit on Giovanni's body in quotations marks. So, yeah. Vulcan finds them, calls Lisa over, gives Lisa the mask, and she attacks with her tentacles. Yeah. And that works. Like, Giovanni's body after those hits and destroys all those bugs, which I guess he shouldn't have been laughing his ass off if he didn't want to get hit, does have a negative reaction. In fact, when in the end, before Vulcan finally squishes him, unfortunately, that's not the end. Don't get hyped. I'm sorry, you can get happy. Squishes him. He just he does look a little weird, like the bug body, like the ones we actually think it's his, starts blowing kind of up, like kind of like just it's really disgusting, is what I'm saying. It's just like cracking and blowing and just going everywhere. Now, important thing to mention is that Giovanni, before Vulcan squishes him, says, "Help me." Now, that could just be a desperate plea from a villain, but but just a little more. Wait a little more. Now, after Lisa finishes, we have this sober moment since they finally killed, again in quotations marks, Giovanni and after everything that has happened to him because of him, they kind of, and not to mention the fact that you has been turned into Infernal, it's kind of like this kind of a great victory, but unfortunately that's not the end, everyone. After they kind of compose themselves, they know you is no longer there, and he's clearly not attacking them or running away since you would see them in the dark. Instead, Yu's infernal form is inside, and from inside that, the door that Amaterasu is, it's we have saying in here Vulcan, and Lisa and Vulcan go in there, and they see what looks like Infernal You possessed by Giovanni through some kind of bug thing. So, alright, I get Okubo's going for a very a very anime version of the whole what bugs are to us in real life. I mean, annoying, which they are easy to take down, but there's so many of them, and something, and their small little bodies are so fast that we can just not hit them. Like, we can crush them easy, but just hitting them is the problem. And most of us are gonna be disgusted by them. Females are gonna be more skilled than males, but definitely no one's gonna be happy. And yeah, so seeing this Giovanni there is like after you chase a bug or a fly or something all over the place and you finally hit it, but that's still not a finishing move. It's still alive, it can still move. That's what this feels like to me right now. And yeah, the current form is just alright. Now the Inferno itself does look alright. I mean, I do think it's a bit more of a goofy looking Inferno, but my god, Giovanni just isn't gonna die. Like, is he really not going to die? I mean, in every fight, he basically just runs away. But no, in this fight, running away is not the option. Right now, Giovanni actually has to complete his mission. And he is literally right next to the fucking mission. Like, he's literally right next to the door. He literally has the key in his hands and about to open it. In fact, the final pages, we literally have just, like, that motion in movies and TV shows where they have, like, a very simple and something that obviously happens very fast. It's supposed to be a lot faster, but they just kind of slow it down just to see how just so they can give you the very over-the-top idea of what's going to happen, like the Aesop's arrest putting the cuffs together on Penny. The slow-mo when you throw an attack and it hits like when literally in a war zone. That's basically what's going on now, I would say, in this chapter with Giovanni putting the key. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if when this gets animated, I'm pretty sure it wasn't renewed for the 4th season. I think Fire Force was renewed for the 3rd, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in the 4th season. It's going to, like, just gonna have this moment where it's gonna kind of slow down, like, really focus on the key going in. So, yeah. Now, let's mention something that I've kind of alluded to before. And that is Giovanni's possession of you. Now, we do not know what actually Giovanni did. I believe there was something like, thanks to my experiments bugs, he was able to get in it. Like, maybe the Inferno was inside of you. Maybe Giovanni could pass his mind into it. Since, okay, Giovanni was originally supposed to be a human. I do believe I believe that during Vulcan's workshop, we don't see top of his head, just bottom of his body, which was, I believe, completely flash. And Vulcan did state that he saw Giovanni's face. So, Giovanni is human. Well, was human originally. It wasn't something like he jumped around or something, although it could be very likely. In fact, I believe Giovanni even said that he's from a line of people who were doing that. So Giovanni, human. Then his body in the when we see him in the story is very cybernetic. Like it's pretty much entirely cybernetic. In fact, the only thing that you could say isn't robotic or something like that is his head, but that's really it. Everything else seems to have like robot limbs. I mean, we know his arms are, we know his entire torso is. I mean, for us, there's literally like a giant robotic hand inside him. Only thing that wasn't was the head. Now, and then we go into the next arc, well, not in the next arc, in the Purple Knights arc where we see him again, and that one again just seems to be more of the same, maybe a stronger body with those insect things. That's really it. And the current form was literally just a bug. So it's possible that the way Giovanni functions is that he can kind of transport his consciousness from a bug to another bug. Like maybe it just has to be in specific type of infernal bugs that he can transfer to. We don't know. Maybe it's just a blessing from a dollar. I mean, after all, he did make a mention that, oh yes, I've been blessed by a dollar. Oh, thank you for Shino Scrubby. You blessed me. If you remember Shino versus Giovanni round 3, I guess. So yeah, it might be that. Now, the thing that I was alluding to before is what is up with Yu's personality? Because if you remember, before Vulcan squished Giovanni's, well, what we thought was gonna be his fire body, there was a line where they say, "Help." Now, this is manga, so we are not showing the voices. In fact, we don't even know if the voice coming from from Yu's body is the same as Giovanni's, or is it Yu's? Or if we're just dealing with something with a Now, the thing is, what happened? So, some people, and I feel a lot of people are gonna be wondering, Giovanni's body, when Vulcan crushed it, was the mind in it, the one that was crying, "Help"? Was that you? Like, really think about this. Giovanni has no reason to think that Vulcan would, like, spare him. And Giovanni could just do, like, there's some bleeding, but we don't know for sure. And he just says, "Help." And this time, he just doesn't, this one, it seems like it didn't really matter. So, would it be possible that bug was at Yu's personality? Meaning that Vulcan, when he stepped on that bug, he actually killed Yu. No, you could say that's impossible because, Yu was already infernal, so he was already dead. So that is no way for Yu to have been also in the Giovanni's body. It was more likely that after Giovanni's body was completely destroyed, or crushed in this instance, they just went to Yu. The thing is, this is anime logic, and we don't exactly know what kind of bugs Giovanni has. Like, this is like, I believe, the first time in the series where Giovanni's used like a different type of infernal in combat. So if you want to tell me that Giovanni has a special type of those infernal bugs that he can use that allows him to transfer his consciousness from him to an infernal, I would not be surprised. Now, I hope it's gonna be reversed. I hope we don't actually find out the next chapter that we get. In fact, the way the next chapter seems to suggest. It seems like it's gonna be more like the Fire Force kind of jumping back. I'm not sure. So it's possible that it's not, but like, okay, I know people right now. Why was you here? You was nothing. Why was he pretty much non-existent? Like he just showed up in like 2 hours before this, but he was a child. Lisa and Vulcan really care for him, and he's that completely kind of like that child innocence. And now think about the way he died. He was transformed into an inferno, which honestly seems like a pretty painful death. In fact, every episode of the anime pretty much states saying that's the worst way for someone to die. And that's not what actually kills you. It's the fact that the person that raised him raised him and loved him, crushed him underneath his feet with soulless rage and just everything to kill, just in the most hurtful way. The best way to compare is like use that to Cup or Cock or the Transformers in Transformers Earthrise, where although you may not care about the Transformer, in fact I'm not even sure that Transformer was a noteworthy Transformer. I think it was just like a random name Transformer, where he's very much a nothing character, but the way he dies is like a super tragic way. Like the last time he sees his leader, the one he followed, the one who he worked for with everything, is as he pretty much like how he views Megatron would do, beats Megatron, gets blasted away, and floats to space to get to the other ship, kills, well, as far as we know, a couple of the scavengers, goes to Quintesson, almost stops him. I believe it was on break, which dropped his guard, and then he gets killed by the Quintesson. And I was like, not fully, just like enough so you can die. And then he's just stuck there, pretty much dying with a death wound on the ship as it's being shot by what are supposed to be his comrades and Decepticons. As he's trying to contact, I've captured the ship. You can hold your fire. As he's just dying on the chair in the complete darkness, all alone. Like, you may not care about the character, but the way he died, if he died, is honestly fucking tragic. Like, you cannot say. And the same thing is with you. If he is dead, if that's what actually happened, you probably has, like, honestly, your staff is just it's just amazing. It's just unbelievable. Like, that's why I question if Okubo is actually gonna kill him this way. But honestly, I'm pretty sure the last couple of years showing us in the modern manga are gonna be a little more darker when the way they're gonna be doing stuff. And I'm pretty sure that the Fire Force is not owned by Shonen Jump. I'm not sure what the company is exactly, but if they allow more darker stuff, I would not be surprised if that's the ending. So, yeah. Yuzaf could be the most tragic thing in the story right now, if that's what we are theorizing is what's going to happen. So, yeah, let's just end this video because, my god, I feel like all of us are gonna have to get some time to process this. So, yeah. We see... So, yeah. I hope you like this video. I hope you're gonna leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And that's it. I cannot wait to see all of you next time. Bye.